welcome today in Woburn. I'm your host, Samantha Stone, and we have lots of things across the city happening today that we're going to catch up on. First up, as always, Mayor Concanon. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, Samantha. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm eager to talk a little bit about our downtown. We did, some cleanup there with the group in honor of Earth Day, and it's a warm, beautiful, sunny day. So I think lots of people are starting to think about spending more time outside and wanted to give you a chance to talk about some of the good things going on there.
Yeah, so we think of downtown as kind of like the heartbeat of the city. Not only the merchants and the businesses and all the activity that happens there, but also, the center and the common itself, where we have so many of our significant events and, it's sacred space for us. So we want to make sure that we're paying the proper attention to this area to make sure it's clean and looks nice at all times. And we have a great team that takes care of that for us between the DPW and the Parks Department. The WRA helps to play a role, and as you said, volunteers have even helped us come out and pick up some trash and just spruce it up a little bit. So it's a renewed area of focus for us this spring to try to make sure we're doing everything we can to make downtown as attractive and pleasant as we possibly can. So yeah, we've been spending some time and some efforts lately. We've had a few meetings to bring all the people together to make sure we're all on the same page. And I think you are seeing and you'll continue to see improvements downtown, just so people feel it's more attractive and maybe they want to spend a little more time down here.
Yeah, I love it. And we'll see the return of things like the Adirondack chairs and the giant chess set soon. And we have a
Yep.
new little addition this year, right? I think is it Church Street that the little outdoor patio set is going?
Yes. Right over here by Roma's and the big white church. A lot of this stuff came through some state funding and some grants. As you mentioned, the Adirondack chairs that we put out by the library, which were a very nice addition last year. We have the large chessboard up at the Pocket Park that generated a lot of buzz, and a lot of people thought that was pretty cool. And then one other item, as you said, is what's known as a parklet, which is a temporary outdoor resting or dining area. We're going to put it over on Church near Roma's. It'll take up a parking space or two, but we think it's worth it. It's temporary. We're hoping it'll attract some people to, maybe spend a little bit of time there. And it's got a nice seating area, maybe some umbrellas. And we'll try it out. It's a pilot program to see if it attracts some attention in some business downtown. And we'll learn from that and see if that's a good placement. If not, we'll try a couple of other areas and see what the best fit is. But again, it's state funded, and it's all designed to try to bring some attention and some business downtown Woburn, which we do consider a priority. So we'll see how this goes.
I know one of the things that we were doing today, we just got off of a meeting. We were prepping for Thursday. There's a downtown safety improvement project update, which is obviously an important part of what we want to make from a long-term planning
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah. So Woburn is on the map in terms of the state's transportation improvement program, and it's been determined that downtown Woburn, specifically Wynn and Main and Pleasant, is a particularly dangerous area. Most people in Woburn probably know that intuitively, but it's so important that it rose to a position on this TIP Transportation Improvement Program list. So we are in the pipeline to receive upwards of $20 million in federal and state funding to help us improve the safety downtown. So as you said, that was a prep meeting we just got through this afternoon, and there'll be a community meeting Thursday night where we want to hear feedback from people. We'll present some of the ideas that are percolating up right now, and we'll present them to people, get some feedback, and tweak the proposal and the plan as we go forward. But the real good news is that it has been identified as a problem area that needs to be solved, and we have the funding to solve it. So we're excited to get that feedback and to make sure that we're incorporating safety measures. We hope to increase accessibility, vehicle, pedestrian, particularly access out to the common where people can enjoy it without running the risk of getting hit trying to cross the street. And hopefully, at the end of all this, there's an improvement to the parking situation downtown as well. We have a parking study that we are in the midst of now, which will, of course, be incorporated into the overall downtown improvement plan. So hopefully, when all this is said and done, after we've received all the input from the residents and the businesses downtown, and we've worked with the state on a plan, we'll have a much improved downtown for all to enjoy for years to come.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Thursday and getting folks feedback as well. So it's a,
Yep.
long process, but these are important discussions so that we reflect the needs of the community and the final designs that get approved.
Yeah, so we would encourage people to come down to City Hall in the chamber Thursday night at 6 p.m. Offer their thoughts. They can hear where we're at this point and what ideas are being kicked around, and they can also make suggestions and offer input on how to make it even better.
Excellent. Speaking of projects, we have begun a really important one, which is adding the PFAS treatment plant to our water system. And we're, I think on schedule for doing that. And we've talked about
Yep.
it in the past, why we're doing it and all of that. But I thought it might be helpful to give people a sense of what the next big milestone might be on that project we're working towards.
Yeah, so we kicked off the project. We have a contractor working down the now. Anyone who goes down to the pond, I know a lot of people like to walk the pond, especially on days like today. When you get over towards the water treatment plant, you'll see an ongoing construction site. We're essentially building another plant, another building. That'll be a piece of the puzzle where PFAS is taken out of the water, and it's all part of an integrated system. The building will match the existing buildings, and it'll be just the next leg in that process to make sure that Woburn's water is as clean as we can make it. We are proud to have gotten out ahead of some communities. We recognize the issue, had the support of the city council to fund the project, and now it is underway. We're a month or two into it now. There's two pieces. One is a well piece, and the other is the building itself. So you're going to see ongoing construction down there for months to come. We're hoping the whole duration is maybe 14 to 18 months of work. But I think shortly you'll start to see the end of site prep work and then the beginnings of a building. So people should watch for that. We're trying to do it in a way that doesn't intrude on enjoyment down at the pond, and I think we've got a good plan to do that. But no doubt you'll see construction ongoing for the next year or so down there.
Yeah, thank you. And I will just mention, because there was a couple people who had written and asking about it. There had been water pouring into the pond, and people were kind of curious what that was. And that was really just a well that we were keeping at the right level for the construction. It
Yeah,
was clean water, nothing was wrong.
right.
But those are things people might see as we're doing this work, and it's
Yeah,
helpful, I hope, for people to know that that's ongoing and
yeah.
so they're not surprised by anything.
Right, right. It's a construction project alongside the pond, so we try to balance, the enjoyment of the area for the residents, but it's necessary, it's important. And hopefully it's maybe about a year or so, and then we're back to business down there and people, being able to enjoy it without the construction activity happening at the same time.
Yeah. And I know this Saturday we have Conservation Day, so that's always a great day for the pond where people come out
Yeah.
and do a lot of really important work to keep those paths clean, to, protect the area and protect our
Yep.
wildlife.
Yeah, we always get a huge crowd for that. And we thank the Lions Club. They do all the cooking, feeding all the volunteers lunch. Hopefully it's a nice day. I haven't seen the latest weather update, but hopefully it's nice enough that we can get that big crowd and we make a real big dent into cleaning up after, typical winter damage down there with the winds and all the other stuff that happens. But thanks to the many hands of all the volunteers, it really puts us in a great spot after this weekend to enjoy the pond. And, we appreciate all the volunteers who step up to help.
Um, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. We talked a little bit at the last school committee meeting. You had talked to the school committee, sort of giving some budget guidance about sort of considering it a maintenance budget. And I thought for those folks who maybe hadn't been part of the school committee meeting or hadn't watched that yet, it might be helpful for you to talk a little bit about what a maintenance budget means from your perspective.
Sure. So it's no secret that last year there was an increase in the school department budget. And, we felt that those investments were necessary. They were required in many instances. And, we feel like we were in a good position as a result of those investments. And we certainly didn't want to lose any ground. We didn't want to slip. We didn't want to fall backwards. We didn't want to cut. But we also felt that there had been such a significant investment, and there had been an impact, obviously, on the taxes here in the city, that we felt that this was not a year to try to leap forward any further. This is simply a year to maintain the progress we've made. And people who do their own budgets and deal with their own finances at home understand that to maintain what you did last year going into this year generally includes some sort of increase, just contractual obligations, inflation, costs that go up. But the idea behind a maintenance budget is that we're not adding additional things, new things. We're simply maintaining what we have in place already, and we factor in the associated costs with maintaining those numbers. So that was the message to the school committee. We've had several conversations and meetings with the school department as they formulate their budget. We actually have another meeting Wednesday afternoon. And again, that consistent message of a maintenance budget is what we're expecting. As I also explained at the school committee meeting, we appreciate the role of the school committee in assisting with the school department in formulating their proposed budget. The school committee will vote on the budget that they would like to see sent down here to City Hall. And then that proposed budget gets reviewed in conjunction with all of the other city department budgets. And we try to come up with the numbers for each of those departments that we think the residents can afford, and that also continue to maintain the level of services that people in Woburn are used to. So I expect a recommendation, a vote from the school committee as soon as this week. And then we'll take that budget and those numbers that they propose and incorporate them into the overall city budget and come up with the numbers that we think best serve the city.
Our neighbors in Stoneham, for those who might be paying attention, might have noticed that they had an override request for a tax increase larger than what is allowed. And so you have to give a vote. It failed. It was quite substantial. And as a consequence of that, they're having a whole bunch of things that look like they may need to be cut. They may have to consider other overrides, all kinds of things that are luckily not a Woburn problem. We're in a much, much better position. However, it does remind us about all these balances and things that we're trying to do. And we talked a little bit specifically about maintenance budget for the schools. That represents the largest portion of our budget, but it's not the only thing. As you're looking across all the departments, kind of what guidance are you giving for finding that balance that you think will best serve our community?
Yeah, it is that similar type of guidance. Think in terms of maintaining the level of service that we're able to provide currently. There were a couple of positions that were added last year that we felt were long overdue and necessary. We're always open to a discussion where a department head gets to make the argument on what level of service they're trying to provide and why. We never slam the door, but we want to have the discussion in the context of maintaining and appreciating the impact of last year's investments on the tax burden to our residents. We're always mindful of what people in Woburn can afford to pay, and that has to be balanced with that level of service that they've come to expect. And that is the fine line that we walk every year, and that is the guidance that we've given to each department head. We've asked them to be honest in their assessment of needs and their assessment of the level of service that they're able to provide. And then we work with them to come up with numbers again, and we work with the city council and the school committee to come up with numbers that we think can provide the service that the residents need and deserve, but also at a cost that we believe they can afford. It is the classic balancing act. And I feel for our neighbors in Stoneham and some of the other neighboring communities. They have a tough job ahead of them trying to figure out how to continue to provide services with reduced funding. Woburn is fortunate, the position we're in. It's It's something we don't take for granted, and it's the constant theme in the background of everything that's happening here in city government. How do we continue to provide what the people of Woburn expect and demand and deserve without overburdening them when the tax bills come in?
Thank you for joining me as always. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Samantha.
Reverend Walker, thank you for joining me today.
Glad to be here with you.
I am, there's a wonderful tradition that St. John's Church does every year around a health fair, and it happens coming up in May, right around the corner. How did that tradition get started?
Well, as you know, and I'm sure the mayor knows too, that St. John's has been an active partner in the city of Woburn for many, many years. It goes back 139 years. So we always want to be integrated and work in harmony I found it very interesting the things that the mayor is doing and how it's supporting the growth of Woburn. But when Reverend Tankersley came on board with us 3 years ago, one of the things that he wanted to make sure took place was complete collaboration, partnership with community. And how could St. John's play its role to really strengthen the vitality of the city and the community? So the idea that health matters, and as the mayor is saying, when you have all kinds of things that are leading to a growing, healthy city, the health of the participants and the citizens of the city also matter. So to that end, this will be our third opportunity to have a health fair. And I'm happy to say that this year we'll be having 6 new organizations come, including one that deals with financial awareness. And I can attest to this one because it has helped my wife and I. And so the organization is called Two Tugboats. They're out of Maine, Kittery, Maine, but they work with individuals all over the country, and they'll be present this year as well. So we're talking about the physical health, mental health, social wellness, as well as financial wellness, and we're excited about it. Got 13
That's
vendors.
fantastic. That's a wonderful addition. I know every year I go and there's awesome organizations there giving away, teaching people things, educating them. It's a really lovely time. What day is it this year? Remind us.
Yes, indeed. It is May 17th, 10 o'clock, 10 to 1, and it will take place at St. John's Baptist Church, which is 3840 Everett Street. And so that's May 17th from 10 to 1. We're very, very excited about it because, as I said, it's helped me. Every year I go, I get my blood pressure checked and check my A1C. Then there's also a farmer's market there that gives away free seeds. So we really just want to do everything because again, just following what the mayor is saying, when you have a healthy city throughout, when all the participants and citizens feel that they're not only healthy in safety ways and educational ways, and me being a former principal, my ears perked up when I hear the good things that Woburn High School is doing that I'm very familiar with. So we feel that health, welfare, social health, mental health, and financial health is kind of the things that will be under this roof of St. John's Baptist Church on the 17th of May.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and more importantly, for the team that organizes this fair. I know a lot of work goes into this, and I hope to see a lot of people there.
Absolutely. If they need to find out more, they can contact Tony Walker at twalker52 at verizon.net, or they can give her a call at 617-240-3470. She'll be ready to answer questions.
I love it. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. And next up, David, thank you for joining us from Mission of Deeds.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Samantha. Glad to be back.
I love that you have combined fundraising for good with playing pickleball. Tell us about the upcoming tournament. That sounds really fun.
Yes, it's our inaugural pickleball tournament. We thought we would throw a curveball out there and try a new event. Pickleball it's uber popular right now. I mean, you go, I think they have some courts near the library in Woburn, and every time I see the schedule come out, it is full within an hour. So anyone can play pickleball too, from young kids to all the way to 99. I mean, I see everybody out there playing. So it's great for all levels.
I really love that. And I have seen that as well. It's really a sport that I've seen a lot of people get into and really enjoy, and it's fun to watch. So tell us a little bit about how the fundraiser will work. Are teams paying a fee to participate, or what are the ways that that will work?
So no matter your skill level, there's an option for you, and we designed that intentionally. So if you've never picked up a paddle, but you always thought, I really want to get involved, there's a beginners clinic, and we'll have a pro there who's used to teaching and giving some skills and drills. And then we also have some round robin and tournament play. Uh, if you're just starting out and never played a round robin before in a tournament, there's an option for you. And if you're a seasoned slammer, there's an option for you as well. So it's throughout the day on Saturday, May 10th at Woburn Racket Club. I do want to point them out. They are giving us the courts for no cost, which is unbelievable. So we really appreciate Woburn Racket Club again supporting us. So, like I said, every level of play has an option at this event on Saturday, May 10th.
I love that you're doing it all, and it sounds really fun. So I hope lots of people can join you. Tell us a little bit about how the funds raised get used. Mission of Deeds does incredibly valuable work. I know several people that you've helped, I know a lot of people know what you do, but just as a good reminder.
Absolutely. So, just to give a quick synopsis of what we do, we provide brand new beds and gently used furniture to people in need. Most of the people that we assist are transitioning out of homelessness. And I know in Woburn, you have a lot of affordable housing, and there's a lot of people that have needs out there. So we do serve all of Middlesex and all of Essex County. And we served 943 households last year. So the
Wow.
funds raised from this tournament will go directly, 100% of the proceeds will support that work, purchasing new beds and providing gently used furniture to these people.
It's incredibly important. I mean, it's an amazing service that you provide people from all different kinds of circumstances who find themselves in need. And I know I'm really grateful for all the things that you do to make them turn a space into a home that they can sleep well in
Definitely.
and enjoy. One of the things I wanted to double check on is just sort of signing up for the
Yeah.
pickleball event. Is this something they register for ahead of time? Do they just show up?
No, we're hoping people register in advance. It is $50 per team. And then for the beginners clinic, it's $30 per person. But both round robin and tournaments will be about 4 hours. So there's plenty of pickleball to be had for that $50 per team. They can go to our website, www.missionofdeeds.org. And from there, you can sign up to play. And we hope to see every pickleball enthusiast out there.
I love that you have the clinic for people maybe who haven't done it before. So this is, if you were thinking about learning, this will be the not only
There you go.
well spent $30 going to do good, but
Yes,
you'll actually learn a new fun sport along the way.
you got it. Absolutely. We're excited.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Woburn, as always, there's all kinds of ways that we can support each other happening in the community. We hope you found this helpful, and please continue to take good care of each other.